Hi everybody, Christy and I are here. We're going to go over a new report. It's called the Discipline Error Report. It's something that we'll be putting out soon to all the campuses. And we're going to go through the report and explain it to you. And this way you'll know how to use it to correct all of your discipline entry errors. So with that, let's go ahead and let's pull this up. So you can see that the report is a spreadsheet, and we'll go through the columns real briefly here so that way you'll know what each of them are, and then we'll go into some detail and explain how you would use this to actually get onto Skyward and make those corrections. So the first column is an entity code. That's just, you know, the campus code. Then we have the name of the campus, type, which is incident. All these are going to be incidents. The incident number, and that appears in red, the date and time of the incident, the staff number and staff name that's related to that incident and or action. We have a student number and a student name. We have the offense code along with a description of the offense. And then if there is an action, you'll see the action code and a description of the action. If there isn't an action related to a particular offense, then you'll just see little dashes in the cells. And then next, we have a series of columns here that describe the various errors that we're going to be flagging. And so they are color-coded. Christy, I don't know if you want to explain color coding.
Sure. The color coding for yellow would indicate that it is a fatal PIEMS error by the state and needs to definitely be changed. If it is a green highlighted error, then that is a data integrity error, which means that if it were something we would report to the state, it would be a fatal. And then there are those that do not have any color coding to them, which are just errors that need to be corrected.
Great. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to just go briefly over these here just to show you that up on top is a particular kind of error. And you can see that if you put your mouse cursor on top of that cell, that you get a little pop-up comment that briefly explains what needs to be done to correct that error. So what we'll do now is we're actually going to go through here, and we're going to go through all these different errors and go into Skyward and show you how you would correct that particular type of error. And we'll start first with the location code. You want to talk about that, Christy, while I go ahead and bring it up in Skyward?
Sure. The location code is if there is not one that was put into the incident, or if it was by accident put in as a 00, that would need to be changed to indicate a correct location of where the incident occurred. So as we pull up one, the very first one we pull up, you can see where it has incident location, there is a 00. All you would do is go in and choose where the actual incident occurred, click on it, and then at the top you would save changes.
Great. Okay, moving on to the next one. So we see here our next error is going to be a non-alpha with a 21, RE, etc. We're going to use this particular incident, and that's 7284. You know, one thing to note on this is as we go into this offense, you'll see that there's actually a series of errors that are related to just this one incident and offenses. We're going to have this non-alpha with the 21s, and then we're going to have also a numeric not primary error, and then we're also going to see a no action error. So we'll go ahead and pull that one up. That's 7284. Key that one in. All right. So you want to go ahead?
Sure. So the first thing you notice as you scroll down, you see you have an RG and a 21. So the first indicator is that you need an extra alpha code to describe what the behavior is, since it's only those two offense codes. The next thing you noticed was that the RG is checked off as the primary offense. Anytime there is a numeric offense listed, the numeric has to be checked as the primary. So you would open up the 21, you would click on the primary and save it, and then it will move that check mark to the 21.
We also don't have any actions for either of these two offenses, so we can see that as well.
And here you would want to know, again, if it is an offense of a 21, your action must be a numeric value and go under the highlighted 21. If it is going to be an alpha action, you delete the 21. Whatever alpha offense you add, you would put the action under that alpha action offense.
Okay. Next, we're going to look at a action not served. By the way, you know, on the titles up here, if you see an exclamation mark, that means not. So this would read as action not served. So we're going to take a look at that one. That's going to be 7755. And this one too has another error in it as well, which is guardian is not notified. So we'll look at 7755.
As he's pulling that up, one of the things to notice when it's saying action is not served, that means most likely you have left the action open and you would need to go in and change it to be served. So as we scroll down,
it's going to be, let's see, is it this one here that will show?
if you highlight the action or highlight the offense,
Oh yeah, there we go.
then you can see in the status column, it is showing that both of these actions are open and would need to be closed. So you would just open it up, and at the very top where it says status, you would click on, and you can open that one
Okay.
so we can hit both. At the top where it says status, you would change that to served. And then going down a little further, the box guardian notified, you would check guardian notified. And again, remember, anytime you're assigning a consequence, based on the law, parents should be notified of any action.
Okay, go back here. And now we're going to take a look at, let's see, I think it's going to be numeric, not primary.
Which
That
we've
one
already
missing.
looked at.
Okay, that's right, that's right. So then, and then we did guardian not notified. So now we're going to be looking at no action details. So on a no action detail, we'll take a look at that. It's going to be 8646. 8646 is our incident number. And what I'm doing is I'm just clicking on the cell, I'm copying, and then I go to Skyward, and then I'm pasting right in here so I don't have to type in that incident number. All right.
And so if you highlight the 21 on this one, you can see in the action that you have an action of in-school suspension, but down below there are no action details. So you assigned 3 days, but you haven't specified which 3 days in the action details. So you would need to click on Add Action Details, and you would need to add them for those 3 days.
Right. Okay. All right, moving on. So for these particular ones, for the next couple of columns here, we don't have an actual error to jump to in this file, but we'll go and show you where these would be found. So this is a 25 with action details. So if we go back again, what we're saying here, Christy, if I'm not wrong on that, is that if we had, is it a 25 up here as
If
the
you had
offense?
no, if you
Oh,
had
I'm
an
sorry.
action,
An
if you had it in
action,
the
I'm sorry.
action field where you have an in-school suspension listed, if that action was a 25 and you had action details listed below, that would prompt an error telling you you need to go back and delete those action details, because we don't want to lose funding from ADA monies by putting the details for that day.
Okay, yeah, so it is a 25 as an action. I always get that confused with the offense code numbers. That's an action code.
Correct.
Okay. Next, we have the victim not 28 error.
And we're going to look at, when you go find this one, we're going to look at this one as well as column W
Okay.
We'll look at the two of them
Okay.
kind of together.
Okay, so we'll scroll down. I know we do have that W further down here on the spreadsheet. Here it is. So this is it here. So this is going to be 29171. Okay. All right, so 29171, and I'll scroll down here.
So we're going to cover two columns of errors here. If you notice in this one, when the BK is highlighted, the action down below is DH, no, meaning it is not confirmed bullying. So if there's not confirmed bullying, then you should not have a victim in the offense field up top. So you would have to go in and delete by clicking on that down triangle. You would have to go in and click on that to delete that person as the victim. This will show up as this error, as well as if you do not have a 28 in the offense field and you have just an alpha or something else other than a 28 and you've listed a victim, this error will pop up again telling you you need to delete the victim. The other third column is if you have the BK other, if you'll click on the top one again, and down in the action field that was a DJ yes, then you must have that victim there. So an error would pop up in the column saying that you do not have a victim listed and need to add a victim.
Okay, yeah, so BK other with a DJ must have a victim.
Correct.
Right, okay. All right, so that takes care of the victim, not 28. We took care of these two columns here. Now we have a no action.
I think we took care of that.
We took that one earlier? Yeah, okay. And then, the served count. So let's go ahead and take a look at that one. So that's going to be here. That is 9417. Okay, the served count is not equal to the details. So that's 9417. Let me go ahead and I'll just copy that over. And by the way, if you don't know how to use the keyboard shortcuts, what I'm doing is I have my browser open as well as a spreadsheet. And so to move from one to the next, I hold the Alt key down and just tap on the tab, and then that will flip me to my browser, and then I can then paste in my incident number and bring it right up. And if I needed to go back to the spreadsheet quickly, I can do Alt-Tab and it'll just bring the spreadsheet right up on top. But anyway, here we are with this one with the issue regarding the served.
So if you noticed in the action, detention was assigned for, and if you'll scroll over to the right a little bit on the action, you'll see it was assigned for 2 hours, but only 1 hour was served based on all that was put in the action details was 1 hour. So here you have three ways you could fix this. You could stay in the action details and change the action, add another hour or make that 2 hours. Or the second way would be go up into the action and open the action and change the to serve from 2 to 1. Right there.
Yeah, that would be that one there.
And then the third thing you would do is, let's say these you did assign 2, but only 1 was served, and you're okay with that. You would go to the very bottom of the action field and you would type 01. You chose to modify that. Likewise, if a student was assigned an ISS for 3 days and maybe the parent withdrew them and they served 0, you would specify 0 days and come down and type in the appropriate code of 07 student withdrew. So that's how you would happen when there is a discrepancy in those two.
All right, let's take a look here. So now the next we have is the, let's see, we did
So we're on
this count, right? So this
we're-
is going to be these are more of our warnings.
So this year what we did is we put in these last few fields to let you know that the action may not be on the primary checked offense field. In 2019-20, next year, beginning next year, that will be a requirement. And if it is not on the primary offense, we would put an error box here and have you go back and correct it. However, for this year, what we want to check on is, if you'll notice in the far right, on the far right tab, there's an exclamation point next to that. You'll notice that's a warning saying just check to make sure you do have some form of action on one of your offenses for this year, knowing that next year it would be an error. So if we want to look at that, they can see.
Sure, let's look at 9829. And also, Christy, I want to make sure that we remember which was that offense we looked at that had the two actions that were assigned. Oops, oh, now I went ahead. Oh no, good. Thought I had lost my number there. Okay, so here, so this is the instance here where, right.
So if you notice on here, the primary checked offense right now does not have any actions listed down below. But if you click on the non-primary, that is where the actions are. So again, as long as there is an action in one of those offense fields for this year, you're okay, you don't have to do anything. But next year, this would be an error and require you to delete it off of the one field and place it on the primary.
Okay, let's see. So we feel that this error here probably will not occur because the system is handling this already to ensure that we don't have a primary offense with no, that we don't have an alpha offense with a numeric action. Let's see, did we also cover this with 9829? The alpha offense, okay, great. And then, so numeric offense, no numeric actions. I know we have that one here somewhere. Oh, here we go. So 36717. I think that's the one I've been.
I think that's.
Yeah, 36717. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is the one here.
So in this one, when you click on the first 21, you see that there are 206 actions, and for PEAMS reporting, you can only have one of the same action per offense. So you would have to delete one of these, starting with the action details, and then delete the action off of that. While this is not currently on the report, it might most likely be added to that report. And it looks like what we noticed is that you probably meant if you click on the next student's 21, there's nothing there. So most likely it was just entered twice on one, thinking it was going on the other student as well. So here you would have to add that action to this student.
And details as well.
And action details, correct.
So there you go. Okay.
And then the last column, which is in blue, that column is telling you that you have RY as an offense code. And just as a look at, be sure you look at, so we're not over-representing RY, which is general information only. Look at that. While there's nothing in this box, the description of your incident will actually be entered into the report here. If there is a behavior, for example, skipping, then we need to change the coding from RY to the actual behavior exhibited. So please look at that blue field very carefully for the wording.
So that pretty much covers all of them, right?
Correct.
Okay, great. So that's it, really. That's the whole error report there. I think that it really went pretty good. Going through all the different issues and everything. And so we'll go ahead and post this video as soon as we can. And then you'll look to be seeing the reports coming out soon.
Correct. And then following, once they come out, they will be coming out on every Monday.
Okay, great. All right. Thank you so much for your time. And thanks for watching the video.